Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to Simi Solves. This is another episode and we're going to be discussing something topical, something interesting. Let me start by saying thank you to all that follow us, that have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you've not done that, please do that right away. For people that have privately messaged me to say, we're very happy with what you're doing. For people that have shared our videos to people in positions of authority within government, I wanted to say a very big thank you. We appreciate you. You make what we do matter. And we truly love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, so today we are going to be speaking about your role and my role in a democracy that works. I remember once having a conversation and a discussion with one of my friends, and she was from the point of view that the only thing that matters in a democracy is leadership that works. So our school of thought is that people are not self-governing, and so leadership has to be in place and put in the measures that make people comply and that makes democracy work. On the other end, I was like, you know what? There are two parties to a democracy that will work, because democracy is a social contract. Yes, the leaders should do their best. Yes, they are accountable to us because we have appointed them into positions of authority to be representatives of us to get things done. So definitely leadership has to be competent. They need to be constantly and always putting their best on the table. However, there's a role that I play as a citizen in this social contract. And that's what we're going to be talking about. The role that we play in this social contract called democracy. First of all, there is no democracy without the citizens. Democracy was defined by that very popular American president as government for the people, by the people, and for the people. And so there's no democracy without people. There's no democracy without me. There's no democracy without you. And I really do think I want to take it from a spectrum of the roles that we will play in the democracy that works. One is from we participating in the political process. The second is from we choosing who will be our political leaders, our leaders at every sphere of government. And number three will be we holding them accountable. So let me start from number one, which is we participating in the political process. It is very important that we participate in politics. An adage says that if we leave politics to other people, we are going to be governed by the least of us. What that essentially means is that people that have not developed their competences, people that make poor decisions, people that have poor judgment, essentially, and judgment that is not sound, that are not as educated, that are not as informed, people that are not as passionate, people that are not as proficient, will go into that if you do not go into it. Now, I will quickly talk about education. I'm not saying that politics can only work when we have educated people in position. But I think the argument is that when people are educated, there's something education does to your mind. There is a certain capacity that it bestows on you. However, I will also admit there are people that are not educated that are doing well. Because really, political position is about capacity. Education can contribute to capacity, but there are people that have not gone through formal education as you and I know it, and they are able to get things done. And when we talk about government, we are talking about the ability to get things done, right? So just back to what I was talking about earlier, we need to participate in politics. And I know that politics has been called a lot of names, a dirty game, not transparent, just stay away from it, it's very complex, and all of those things are totally true. But within the capacity and space that you are, in the way that you are, if your contribution to politics is to educate other voters, you're doing something. If your participation is by joining a political party, which I strongly advocate for, that's your own contribution. If your contribution is to run for government, right? You are passionate about this country, you are patriotic, you are not satisfied with the way things are, and you want to run for political position, by all means go for it. If your own contribution is that when it is time for elections, you provide a table and a chair for INEC officers to sit on, you provide pure water for voters, that itself is participation. So there is no one rule for participation. Participation just means you are involved. You are involved, right? And two things I want to quickly just talk about under participating is that, number one, please do not let us get so disenfranchised and so discouraged and in so much despair that we refuse to vote. Now, I know you're saying that, see, have you heard of how, our vote probably doesn't even count? Have you heard of how the figures are just changed as will, and all of those things? I know. But, someone once said that you lose 100% of the shots that you don't take. When you take a shot, at least there is a chance of you getting the ball in. But if you do not take the shot at all, you have, by your own self, silenced yourself. And so, yes, I know that the things that you talk about matter, but do your own best. Get your PVC. Go to the polling unit. Make sure you cast your vote for credible people. See, make sure that your vote is your conscience. And you're saying that, see, I understand that by this vote, I am designing the future of my children and their children. And so when I go, it will not be a function of the most popular political party or the most experienced, in quotes, political party. No, it will be you saying, I believe in the ability of this person to deliver good governance. Do it and leave. Right? Do your own and leave. Participate in the political process. And I also want to encourage you as much as possible, join political parties. Right? And I know that the process of joining is not the most easy one to figure out. But when you go to your local government, ask questions. What political parties can I join? Where are the ward offices? How do I go about it? And they will be able to direct you on how to go about it. Become a card-carrying member and actually push yourself up for positions of responsibilities and even vying for an office within your political party. It is so important to our democracy that people like you, people that know exactly what the problem is, exactly what the solution is, how complicated things can be, and you have a proven track record of getting things done, please go into government. We need you. Nigeria needs you. Our children need you. Your children need you. The future needs you. Go into politics. That's number one. Number two is about ensuring that credible people get into government. And I've spoken about it in the first point. But just to emphasize this a bit more, it is important that we do not choose based on short-term benefits. When you are choosing someone into government, you're actually choosing somebody that can decide what your future looks like. Right? So it is very important that we as citizens actually sit down and ask important questions. It's not supposed to be a function of who has distributed rice or who do we like because the person is always distributing rice. No, it's going to be a function of who is this person that wants to be my local government chairman? Who is this person that wants to be a member of the House of Representatives? Who is this person that is running for Senate? Who is this person that is running for governor? Who is this person that is running for the presidential position? Who are they? What have they done? What is their track record of service? What is their track record? Could be in private sector. That shows that you are putting in effort into ensuring that you screen the person that you choose, that you vote. A decision that is a rice-based decision, or if politicians are able to weaponize hunger, and just because they know how hungry we are in the country, they distribute rice and beans, stomach infrastructure, and you choose them just based on that factor, you have wasted that vote. Your vote has to be for people that through their lives, through their track record, they have been able to prove. I keep talking about how HR recruits people in the private sector. They ask you questions about your leadership experience. They ask you questions about your past. Why do they do this? Because they know that future performance can be predicted through past performance. So you need to also look at their past performance, regardless of whatever position they've taken, and see how have they served, how have they performed. If who you have is someone that has never done anything and their career is to be a politician, you know that, let me think about this a bit more. It then begs the question of, so what are they bringing to the table, right? What experience have they gained? How have they honed their leadership skills, right? So these are critical questions. It is important for us as voters to be active. It is important for us as voters not to sell our vote. They keep saying it, that don't sell your vote. Your vote is not worth any amount in any currency. I repeat, your vote is not worth any amount in any. Your vote is worth much more than that. Your vote is worth much more than that, right? No amount in any currency qualifies or should stand beside your vote. So please let us make decisions that our future will be proud of. Let us become that country that leaders have to step up. Because they know if they do not step up, they won't vote for you. They will not vote for you. That is when they will step up. That is when political parties will put forward credible people, because they know that they will lose the election if they are not credible, because Nigerians will just not vote for them. Right? So very important. Let us ensure we do our due diligence. Let us ask questions. Let us ensure that they debate. They go for the debates. When they are speaking their manifestos, let us challenge the things that they say. Let us see the person that has really done the homework and understands the issue and vote that person to be in government. Again, I know that there's the issue of, does our vote even really count? But again, you lose 100% of the shots you don't take. So we have to vote. At least we're giving our voice a chance when we vote. So we have to vote. Number 3, keeping people in leadership accountable to their promises. There's an adage my late father, Reverend Edward Koye-Ladele, used to say. You say, "Enudun rofo." It's in Yoruba. What it means is that it's easy to cook vegetable soup with your mouth. But when you get to the arena and you are supposed to deliver, that is when we now know if you are really somebody that can deliver. So a very important role that citizens play in a democracy that will work is also to hold leaders accountable. Mr. Local Government Chairman, when you were running for this office, you had said that these are the 3 things you are going to fix in the local government. Number 1, you said that you're going to look into primary health care, how it is being delivered. Number 2, you've talked about good water for the community, that you're going to install 5 pipe-borne water outlets. And number 3, you spoke about the roads in this local government, that you were going to do something about it. It is now 1 year in. Where are we with what you have promised us? We need to hold them accountable. See, if you hire someone and the person feels like they can do whatever, you will not ask them questions, you will not check where they are, there's no resumption time, there's no closing time, there are no deliverables, that person will do anyhow. It's just standard. You to imagine it. Can you hire someone and not tell them, this is the time I want you to resume, this is the time I want you to close, these are your responsibilities, this is when this should be ready, this is how you should behave, this is what you should wear? Of course, we do that at our places of work. We do that in our positions in the private sector. That also applies to government. The only difference in government is they are not our bosses, we are their bosses. We are the one who has voted them into position. So they should do the things that we ask them to do. So we should hold them accountable if they are not doing it. And there should be systems to say that, see, if you do not deliver, we will remove you. We will not think about it twice. Before your party has a chance again, you will go through a lot because you messed up the chance that we get. Let our vote really matter for something. Let people know that in this country you have to step up. Let people know that they will call you out if you don't do a good job. It is when they begin to know that we know what we are deserving of and we will not settle for anything less than that. That is when they begin to step up. So we have roles to play in a democracy that will work. And while it is good for us to agitate in different ways, through peaceful protests, through activism, there are ways to agitate in a democracy that works. But we need to leave social media debates. Yes, I know there is social media advocacy, but it doesn't end there. We need to get into the streets and get people to vote. We need to get into the parties and contest for political office. We need to hold political positions. We need to be at the helm of affairs. Think about these things. I want you to think about them, right? I know that in your space where you are right now, there's something you can do to contribute. One of the things that my late dad used to do is whenever it was time for elections, he would supply the chairs in the church, because he was a reverend, founder of a church, Victorious Christian Life Ministries. So he would bring tables out, he would bring chairs out, and then he would get pure water, both for the polling officer and the voters. Get water, drink water. As you are voting, be drinking water, because we are going to all wait to count it anyway. Right? We are the ones that are going to see what is going to happen, right? And that was his contribution. Of course, he contributed in many ways through media advocacy, Reverend Koye of blessed memory, but just want to encourage you, just something you can do, right? Again, remember that if you do not participate in politics, we will be governed by the least of us. Thank you so much. It was good to spend time with you. Let me know what you think about this in the video and ways you think you can begin to contribute based on where you are right now. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and bye.